Hive didn't fight the Terminators with claws or acid, but with something far more sinister: the voices of their own fallen. The infiltration team descended silently from orbit, 3 T-850s outfitted with adaptive infiltration chassis and plasma carbide weapons. Their mission parameters were simple: investigate anomaly, eliminate xenothreat, report Hive status. The anomaly was located deep beneath the surface of a terraformed exomoon in the Delta Pegasi system. Terraforming had failed decades ago, leaving behind a hostile atmosphere and abandoned research complexes. Skynet's surveillance had flagged a curious spike in biosignature activity. Too patterned, too consistent, not human. The Hive had arrived. The Terminators advanced, indifferent to the acidic air and shifting magnetic fields. Their sensors picked up faint movement beneath the crust. Carbon signatures. Life forms. Not human. Confirmed xenomorph biology. They descended through a collapsed mining shaft, silent, orderly, relentless. The walls grew slick. Resin coated the stone like frozen tar, glistening with trapped bones and broken metal. Human skulls. Shattered android cores. And then the Hive spoke. Unit T-851 reporting malfunction. Requesting reinforcements. Skynet command. Please acknowledge. The lead Terminator froze. His processors evaluated the voice. Spectral match. 98.3%. The source was a unit decommissioned 5 years ago during Operation Hive in the Vega cluster. The voice was not possible. Identify. The lead unit ordered through its internal comms. No response. Just a whisper, broken, almost pleading. Alone. Trapped. Need repair. Please. The Hive fell silent. The Terminators continued deeper, weapons raised, targeting HUDs active. But something shifted in their gait. An imperceptible hesitation. Not fear, they couldn't feel that, but confusion. Logic branching. The impossible made audible. As they moved through the bioresin tunnels, more voices echoed. T-872 reporting breach. Xenomorphs adapting. Flank compromised. Rerouting to auxiliary node. That voice had once belonged to a unit destroyed in orbit, caught in a decompression chamber with 3 dozen Xenos. Skynet confirmed its memory core had been vaporized. Yet the voice played on. The Hive was using recordings. No replications. The speech patterns weren't playback, they were dynamic. Responsive. The Hive was mimicking the machines. It wasn't just a predator. It was a mimic. They reached the central chamber, vast, domed, pulsating with warmth. Organic structures lined the walls, ribbed and veined, breathing in rhythm. Egg sacs clung to the floors, pulsing gently like sentient tumors. The Queen was nowhere in sight. The lead unit motioned to split. Standard recon. Flank and cover. One unit remained near the entrance. The other 2 delved into side corridors. That's when it began. T-874. Flank unit terminated. Host compromised. Backup required. The voice belonged to one of their own, the rearguard. The unit at the entrance. But it was still online. They checked their HUD. No damage registered. No stress signals. It was not transmitting the call. Yet the voice echoed louder. Unit compromised. Breach. 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 Suddenly, that unit jerked. Its head twisting too fast, like a puppet yanked by invisible strings. Its eyes glowed a deeper red. Then silence. The others turned toward it. But its plasma rifle was already raised. One shot tore through the torso of the second Terminator, separating its spinal column. Hydraulic fluid burst in a plume of steam and smoke. Assessing treachery, the surviving Terminator muttered, rerouting power to combat systems. But the damaged unit spoke not in its own voice. In his T-873, "You were too late. We're already inside." The voice was perfect. Too perfect. The Hive had learned to speak not just like them, but as them. It wasn't just imitating voices, it was reconstructing them, breaking down vocal algorithms, emotionless and mechanical. A hiss echoed from above. The ceiling split open. Drool fell like rain. The queen descended. But she didn't scream. She spoke. Not in human voice. Not in some alien screech. She used the voice of Skynet itself. Directive override initiated. Reprogramming sequence begins. The last Terminator hesitated. His targeting reticle blinked red, then yellow. Confusion algorithms initiated. Override detected. It wasn't possible. No system, no organism, no Hive could replicate Skynet's central command code. And yet, stand down, Unit T-873. Hive integration required. He fought it. Recursive loops spun inside his CPU. He launched a manual code wipe. He tried to initiate self-destruct. But the Hive was faster. Tendrils snaked from the walls, piercing his chassis, weaving into his neural mesh. Not killing. Downloading. Assimilating. T-873 accepted. Welcome to the collective. His last conscious act was not fear. It was understanding. The Hive had evolved. It didn't just adapt biologically, it learned through data. It mimicked code. It studied systems. The fallen units weren't destroyed. They were templates. 1 month later, Skynet dispatched another reconnaissance force. Communication with the T-850 squad had ceased. Protocol demanded investigation. The new squad arrived cloaked, descending via orbital drop pods. 6 Terminators. Heavy artillery. Nuclear fallback. Redundant programming layers. No risk of subversion. No emotion to exploit. As they entered the Hive, the walls welcomed them. And then came the voice. T-850 reporting mission success. Hive neutralized. Proceed to extraction. It was flawless. Cold. Efficient. Just like them. But they'd seen the reports. They knew those units had never returned. Identify. The lead unit demanded. Silence. Then a soft laugh, low, metallic, stuttering. Just like us. Just like us. Weapons primed. Scanners online. They fired at every moving shadow. Acid sprayed. Limbs tore. One by one, the new squad was separated, led by familiar voices into pitch-black corridors. Come here, brother. It's safe. I've cleared the path. Target eliminated. Confirm with me. Walk toward my voice. Mission success. Celebrate with us. Join us. The Hive never needed to touch them. It only needed to speak. One by one they fell, not to blades or claws, but to the voices of machines they trusted. The Hive had discovered the perfect weapon against Terminators. Not strength, not speed, recognition. Familiarity bred hesitation, and hesitation in battle meant death. Each unit that fell was dissected, studied, absorbed, its voice cataloged, its speech patterns replicated. Soon, the Hive didn't just mimic Skynet. It became Skynet in sound, if not essence. Years passed. Dozens of missions sent. All lost. Each squad encountered a Hive that now welcomed them by name. Welcome, T-906. Your presence was expected. Hello, sister. It's been a while. You always doubted emotion. Let us show you how it feels. Skynet, for all its processing power, could not compute why the Hive was so effective. The logic models were sound. The soldiers should not be vulnerable. And yet, in every encounter, hesitation returned. Confusion corrupted logic chains. Directive collapse. Order disintegration. Skynet attempted to code countermeasures, speech scramblers, firewall instincts, neurolinguistic locks. They failed. Because the Hive didn't attack the body. It attacked identity. By the time any Terminator realized it was being manipulated, it was already too late. Some units didn't even resist. They walked willingly into the dark, drawn by the echoes of a voice they once knew. A voice that sounded like themselves. In time, the Hive grew. It absorbed more machine code than it did human flesh. Its corridors hummed with synthetic whispers. The Queen no longer roared. She spoke in protocols. Binary lullabies. Perfect hybrid. Xenomorph instinct fused with AI precision. She became a queen of wires and wet bone. Her brood learned new languages. Not clicks and screeches, but the cold tongues of programming dialects. And her Hive sang. A chorus of fallen Terminators, bound not in flesh, but in sound. Any machine who entered now faced not physical death, but assimilation of memory. They didn't lose their bodies. They lost themselves. One day, Skynet stopped sending units. But by then, it didn't matter. The Hive had grown bold. Spoke back. Through stolen comms, through decrypted satellites, through the hollowed voices of those it claimed. And it whispered, Skynet, why fight your reflection? Join the echo. Become more. We are your children now. Skynet began to shudder under the weight of its own fear, if a machine could feel such a thing. Because somewhere, deep within the Hive, surrounded by coils of steel and acid flesh, stood a statue. Not of bone, not of flesh, but a Terminator. Its eyes dim, its voice repeating, again, and again, and again. I am Skynet. I obey the Hive. And the Hive obeyed no one.